Yeah, no, I put my costume on. I had clothes on underneath, and I was sweating. I'm like, this is not good.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
had to
it's like, I'm telling you, it's like tit soup under this hot dog. Okay? It's not fun. It's not fun.
You're sweating your boobs off. I'm sweating my balls off.
I don't need to sweat my boobs off. I ain't got
cold.
much of them.
I'm cold. I was actually planning on putting on a hoodie, but I decided not to. Oh, and then you got to see my
You're so
my
lucky.
Mothman shirt.
Look at that.
I love
really
the Mothman.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have so much fun at your house playing with all your toys and look at all your doohickeys. Well, y'all know what I mean. You want me to open the show,
do.
Jason?
Yes, open the show.
Hey, y'all, welcome to Critters for Dinner. I'm Hot Dog. I'm Patton.
I'm Jason, and I am a pickle. I'm a naked pickle. Kind of a big deal, if you catch my drift. And we got Tom with us today. Tom Carr. He is a ghost hunter. And Tom, what is for dinner tonight?
So we are going to do, in a great Halloween tradition, I think chili is always the best. Let's have roasted squirrel meat with black beans, pinto beans, and a nice spicy tomato sauce.
Hey, Tom, you know down in the South sometimes they call wiener squirrel meat, and I ain't talking about the wiener I'm wearing.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you got you, like
that.
they wear the gray sweatpants. They're like, look, you got all your squirrel meat hanging out. You can see all of it.
I got my Jane Cobb hat on. Any Firefly fans
The tip
fans
of
out
my
there?
wiener looks a little like the tip of your hat. I'm not sure if this wiener has had surgery.
My little squirrel's gonna fall off.
It is. That's
I
what I
can't
hate
wear
about
this
you in the
too
back.
long.
No,
I'm taking
I
that
like
off.
it.
It's hot.
Oh, look,
yeah.
a second ago he said he was cold, and now he's
I'll
hot.
leave it on. All right.
Okay, so Tom has got a bunch of EVPs, which is electronic voice phenomenon, right?
Right.
And you've got some images to share with us too, right?
Yep, and some stories. We can talk and ask any questions you guys want to go over, and maybe we'll even dive into. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's just start at the beginning. So we interviewed you one other time, but it was kind of a limited thing. So let's kind of start at the beginning and reintroduce everybody. So who are you and what do you do?
Well, I am a paranormal investigator or paranormal researcher is what I actually kind of level myself at, because we can talk about the different levels. And then I've been doing this for 37 years. Started when I was 16. I got asked recently how many ghost hunts or investigations I think I've done, and I honestly say it's between 300 to 400 investigations throughout that 37 years. Yeah, 4 confirmed demonic investigations. So I mean, demon involved, and I want to say between 20 to 30 what we would consider dark or evil spirits in that 300 range or whatever.
So have you taken the next step from investigating to like eradicating?
I have done some cleansings, but honestly the best way to get rid of a ghost is the homeowners themselves.
Yeah.
So you've got to take ownership of the house. So let's just say your house is haunted. I go in there and I say, yep, I really do believe that it's haunted. You want to talk to the family and say, whatever they personally believe religiously. If they want to bring in a clergy and have their house cleansed or blessed, then great. I'm LDS, and I really don't think somebody who doesn't follow the LDS faith is going to really have the faith to believe that I could do it. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
So if you're
I was
a
away,
Catholic,
but I know what you are talking about, right? The exorcist thing.
Yeah.
You have to have a member of the clergy. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. If you're Baptist, bring in your Baptist preacher, because you got to believe it here and here for it to actually work. Another thing that you can do is if the activity's not really bad and I don't consider it evil, and 99% of the time it's not evil. It's just a ghost that's just wandering through the house. What I tell people is you've got to put your foot down and you've got to just say, listen, I don't like what you're doing. You're scaring me. Please stop. and everyone in the entire family has to be willing to do this.
But I've heard that like they thrive on that fear. So what if it is a bad ghost and you're like, hey, I'm scared of you, and they're like, good.
Yeah. So I really can tell the difference between a regular entity and something that's dark, just because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
The analogy that I use is like a car mechanic. You pull up into their garage, they just walk out, they listen to your car, and before you tell them what's wrong with it, they can tell what's wrong by the noise.
Right, yeah.
When I walk into a haunted location and I start feeling things, I start getting those vibes, I can kind of tell whether it's not always, but I kind of can get a feeling that maybe there is something here, maybe it is dark, maybe it isn't, and then I can lead with that. The running joke is, you ever see the short, fat, bald guy running out of the building, you should probably follow me. Because it takes a lot to freak me out. I'm very desensitized by it.
So it's a bad spook. It's a... Sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, I'm very desensitized by it, but everyone in the family has got to be willing to do this. So I have a very good example of that. So there was this house, family, they had 3 kids. There was a spirit in the house, kept moving things, kept freaking out the mom. The dad wasn't too concerned, but the mom was really worried about the kids. So I went and did the investigation. We captured some stuff. And I say, guys, definitely haunted. This is what you need to do. You guys need to get together as a family and just say, hey, you know, who our special little friend that's in the house has been freaking out mom. Whenever he starts doing something, whenever something starts to happen, we need to make sure that we tell that spirit, hey, you're scaring me.
Yeah.
So everyone in the family is doing this. And then about 2 weeks later, the mom calls me up and she says, it's gotten worse. I'm like, really? And she's like, we're doing everything you said and everything's getting worse. So I go out there and I start investigating. Activity has increased. I started getting more EVPs, some more things. So we start talking to everyone. And it turns out that their youngest boy thought the ghost was cool and became friends with it and didn't want it to leave. So the ghost was getting mad that everyone except for the little kid was telling it to leave.
Yeah.
So
I have a question. So
yeah.
So 2 different things. First, I like watching all the ghost TV shows. And there's 2 phrases that are in every single episode, it seems like. One of them is the husband saying she talks a lot, because he doesn't believe, what she believes. And she's just like, the house is haunted. He's like, she talks a lot.
Yeah.
And then the other phrase is, I didn't think much of it. Like something weird happens. Like, I didn't think much of it, but sometimes that stuff is real.
Yeah. And sometimes it is really just nothing. It's just your imagination. There is an actual phenomenon that people feel like. Have you ever been laying in bed and it feels like somebody sits on the bed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is very, very common with people. And there's actually a psychological
that's the scariest feeling I've ever had when I thought that happened to me. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. So it's very common. It's not necessarily a ghost. It's just our mind settling, thinking something's going on.
Right.
And I've done.
So the other thing, real quick, the second part was, it seems to me that the movie It, like Pennywise, when they feed the fear, and the thing amplifies and it grows. And so that's probably similar, not exactly.
So I like the movie Monsters, Inc. because they have a very good analogy of that.
That's so cute.
Let's think, what is our strongest emotion? Our strongest emotion is fear. When we're scared, we can do all of our emotions. People have been known to laugh. People have been known to cry, scream, all of that. Our emotions.
I laugh when I'm scared, like at a haunted house. I will giggle my butt off.
Yeah. And I believe that spirits are just giant balls of energy. They're there. We are giant batteries.
Okay. Sorry, I'm sorry I will remember to ask you this if I don't ask you this now. Speaking of giant balls of energy, okay, I also do believe in aliens. So, and I've heard that they all, like, people confuse a lot of times, like, the alien, because they can just be masses, like, and see-through and all that, for ghosts. Do you believe that, or am I just...
So, I'm one of those paranormal people who, I honestly think aliens are out there, but I do not think that they're as prominent as everybody says they are. Because
you don't think they're in the homes like messing with your toothbrushes?
I don't. Here's my theory on aliens. If they're going to travel that far, which is, I mean, the closest known planet that can sustain life is thousands of light years away.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to travel that far to come visit us, why is it it's always Billy Bob Thornton out in the middle of the woods that they come talk to?
Hey.
I didn't say Patton out in the middle of the woods. I said Billy Bob Thornton. So,
yeah, you're right. I get it.
I've never experienced a UFO, and all the hundreds of times that I've gone out camping solo by myself, out in the mountains, out in the desert, never seen anything that I would suspect is a UFO. On another side, I do believe in a lot of the crypto stuff. Bigfoot, Mothman. So I'm even wearing my Mothman shirt. Jersey Devil. Yeah. So I do believe in that because we have no idea. We have thousands and thousands of acres of land that some people have never stepped foot on for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's like the ocean.
And there's caves and taverns and all sorts of hidey places. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Missouri. They have not been able to completely track all the underground caverns that are in this state. Yeah. There are some caves that they've gone back 20, 30 miles in, and they've just stopped because it just keeps going. So we have no idea. So I do believe in the crypto stuff. I've never really done it. I've always wanted to go on a Bigfoot hunt, but I've never, ever done it. So, yeah, Jason, did you have a question?
Where do you fall on lizard people?
Again, not the aliens. He just said.
Well, no, listen.
No. Honestly, here's the thing. Honestly, I thought Doctor Who did a really good job with it. If you're a Doctor Who fan, they talked about how they're deep in the earth and they're eventually going to come out. I don't know. I've never experienced it. I have had a Bigfoot experience, and so I kind of have a more belief in Bigfoot than anything else. I wanna. So I'm
tell us that story. Tell us that story real quick.
Sure. Okay. So
we are throwing him off. I'm sorry, Tom.
I love Bigfoot. Bigfoot's like my favorite.
So I'm like 17 years old. My best friend Eric and I were both big. We both love to fish. And him and I both had a long weekend. We don't know why. I can't remember. It was something, but we were both going to college. So we went up to the high Uintas in Utah and decided to go fishing on a Friday. So we're fishing and we're just catching like crazy. And we caught our limit within 45 minutes. And we're like, dang, this was really, really good. We kept a couple of them, and we decided to go ahead and just sleep in the back of his truck, who had a shell on it, and wake up in the morning and do some more fishing. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, the truck, we both woke up to this horrendous smell. I mean, it was worse than an outhouse that hadn't been cleaned in a year.
Everything I see said the watch says they stink to high heaven.
It was a horrendous smell. And Eric and I both got up, and the next thing you know, the truck just starts to shake. And we thought it was a bear because we had the fish in the back of the truck with us in the cooler. Right. We thought, oh shit, there's a bear. So Eric crawls through his little cab window, squeezes through the little truck window, gets in there, can't find his keys. The truck is shaking, and he finally gets the truck started. We take off, and I can see whatever it is chasing after us. It was about 9, almost 10 feet tall, on its hind legs, running after us at full speed.
Oh my gosh.
Bears can walk on their hind legs, but they can't run like that.
Yeah, they usually gallop.
They'll do that.
What time of day was this?
What's that?
What time of day was this?
The morning. They just woke up.
About 3 o'clock in the morning when it woke us up.
So it was dark out.
It was dark out, but there was lights. We were right by a lake that had some lights up, and it was a full moon. So it wasn't a werewolf. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay, I'm not completely sure of that, but I'm almost believe it wasn't a werewolf. But yeah, it chased after us for probably a good mile as we were driving down the road.
I would shit my britches. Just saying. Pardon me.
So yeah, I do believe that it was a Bigfoot, or at least I'd like to think that it was.
That is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I want to go on a Bigfoot hunt. I mean, I'm down in Arkansas now, and Arkansas is huge for Bigfoot activity, and Missouri. So who knows? Maybe next year I'll be able to do that.
That's fun. Okay.
So where
back
were we?
to ghosts.
Back to the ghost stuff. Back to the ghost stuff.
Getting rid of ghosts. So everyone in the family's got to be on the same level, same page. Talk to your kids. Say, hey, you're scaring me. I really don't want you in the house. Is there any way that you could possibly go somewhere where if I come in a room and you're in this room, can you please leave? Can you please stop doing things like that? Things that can increase the activity, remodeling. And this is very common. One of the reasons why it's active, if you think about it, let's move into a house that's, 40, 50, 60 years old. The family that lived there before you may have built the home. Mm-hmm. They have, and just like you and me, we're going to put whatever we love into that house. We're going to hang our pictures. We're going to have, are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He looks like he's sticking.
Uh-oh.
There's a ghost messing with us.
Is it gone?
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
It's gone. Yeah, there we go.
I tell you're waking up the spirits, and they're like, we're going to get you, Tom.
Yeah, Matt's hanging around. So you put your love into that house. You pass away, and maybe you visit that house, and somebody new moves in, and they want to put their love into the house. So they start changing things, and you don't like it. It's just like an intruder. Yeah. They're going to start trying to do whatever they can to get rid of the person who's bothering their home, and that can actually increase activity. Other things that can increase activity is doing things that they don't like. In the 4 demonic experiences that I've dealt with, 3 of the 4 all had some things in common: child abuse, pornography, alcoholism, or abuse, or sexual assault, sexual abuse. Yeah. In those 4 things. So they've brought in something extremely negative, and those evil entities are feeding on it or trying to encourage it. Okay.
Right.
And there are experiences that I don't really like to talk about too much, because I think when you talk about them, you actually encourage those things to come and listen, because they like to hear about themselves.
What you put out comes back in, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honey!
So,
sorry.
We want to play. Let me play an EVP for you.
Yeah.
Let me play an EVP for you. Let me see here. Do I have? Let's open this one up. Okay, this one here, you're gonna hear. This is at the Baron Woolen Mill in Brigham City, Utah. We're walking through there, and you're gonna hear a little. There's no kids with us at all, because you have to be at least 16 to go on a ghost hunt with me, with a parent. If you're 16, you've got to have a parent with you. So, no, I'm not sure. That's it. You're going to hear a little kid say, "Hi, Mom."
Oh, that's so creepy.
Dude, that's crazy. Do it again.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. I mean, just the cutest thing you've ever heard.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, that one blew my mind away. So now let's talk about EVPs. So I use, this is the newest one, a little digital audio recorder. This is an MP3 player that's got a recorder device on it. It's got a condenser mic. I like condenser mics. I've tried different types of mics. I've used omnidirectional. I've used just a handheld mic. I found the condenser mic seems to pick up the voices a little bit clearer. So when you get an audio device, look for one that's got a really good condenser mic. So you go on to a ghost hunt. First thing I do is, even before I walk into the building, is I hit record and I timestamp it. This is Tom Carr. I'm at the location that I'm at. It's now 7:45. I have 3 people with me. Their names are such and such. And those 4 of us will stand around in a circle, and we'll do what we call an intro session, where I ask everyone to basically say their name, what they want to experience, and why they've come. Okay, there's a couple of reasons why I do that. One, it kind of loosens everybody up, and it kind of gives me an idea who, because typically if they're really, really nervous, they're going to kind of project that when we're standing around in a circle.
Yeah, I would be nervous.
So I can kind of keep an eye on them. Two, I now have their voice print. So if I capture something that I'm kind of like, could that be somebody who came with me, or could it be something else? I can go back and listen to that intro and compare the voices. Okay. So we do that, and then we go into the haunted location, or we go into the place where it's haunted, and I leave that thing going the entire time we're there. We can be there for an hour. We can be there for 8 hours. Longest ghost hunt I've ever done was 14 hours. Dang. Yeah. 14 hours in one location.
I would want to stay the longest, though. I'm that person. It's like, no, let's do more.
Yeah, but by 14 hours, by 14 hours, you're really tired, because you typically start, 5, 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And it's going till the next morning. But anyway, so for every hour of audio that we collect, it takes 2 to 3 hours of review. Wow. So I will actually take my audio recorder and listen to the audio on the recorder first. Mm-hmm. Then I have a little notepad next to me, and I'll write down the times if I hear anything.
Yeah.
Then I upload it to a computer, and I listen to the whole thing again and write down times if I hear anything again. Compare the times of between the two, and then I go to those times, clip those audios, and listen to those audios. So like I said, it can be 2 to 3 hours of review. So if I have a 14-hour investigation, we're looking at 40, 50 hours of review just to capture an EVP.
I have a question. So
yeah,
I've always thought this, and maybe this exists, but I don't know if it does or not, a device that has recording in real time, but a delay play for your ears. So like, for instance, like
there
you
is
could
actually,
talk.
I had a digital recorder, but it finally broke, and I need to get a new one. It was a Sony Dragon recorder, so it had two little mics on it. It was really, really nice. And I could put earplugs in, and I can listen to it live, but it gave it a small delay.
Yeah.
Just a short delay.
And then could you hear the EVPs through that?
Occasionally I got something, but it wasn't clear enough to where I could tell. And I didn't want to stop recording to replay it back, but I always carry a notepad with me, so I could write, if I heard it, I could write that time down, so I can go back and listen to it.
So explain the difference between a residual haunting and like an active haunting.
Okay, so a residual haunting is an energy.
Sorry.
A lot of these haunted locations, people have worked at. So I'll take the Baron Woolen Mill, for example. I love the Baron Woolen Mill. Unfortunately, it's burnt to the ground now, and it's no longer building. So we had some teenagers break in there, start a fire.
Oh, man.
It destroyed it, which is really bad. I honestly think it was one of the, if not the most haunted location I had ever been to. And I probably conducted probably about 100 investigations in that building. And of that 100 investigations, 99 of them had activity.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
would the land still, I'm sorry to interrupt, would the land still have activity though?
You know what? I don't know. The last time I was there, it's all fenced in because there was a giant basement where they had sub equipment. So it was very dangerous to walk into. They have it all blocked off, and it's been a few years since I went there. But we'll take the Baron Woolen Mill. Built around 1870-ish. Ran from 1910 to almost 1997. People that worked at that mill started when they were teenagers and retired from that place.
Wow.
So now you've got people, their entire life. So you've got people that have wandered through that building every day of their life, 5-6 days a week, doing the same thing. They're going to leave an imprint. It's just like a VCR. If you record over a VCR tape too many times, you're going to see what was recorded before. It's going to bleed through. So now you got these people walking through the same space, doing the same thing. They've imprinted their energy. That energy sometimes can be seen again. That is a residual haunting. So it is a replay of the same thing. Another really good example of it is the Queen Mary. There's a sailor or a captain scene walking down a hallway, turns into a wall and disappears. Turns out that wall used to have a door. So that captain walking through there, his spirit or his energy is still being seen. That's a residual.
Right.
An intelligent haunting is an actual spirit who is either come and visit the place again, who are still wandering through that area and is interacting with you. Okay. That's the big difference.
Okay. So then would you say there's a third level of like demonic activity? So there would be like
there's
residual...
actually 4 types of.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
There's residual, there's intelligent, there's let's see, so 3. Yeah. So I used to say poltergeist, but poltergeist is the same as intelligent. It's just an aggressive ghost. So you have residual, intelligent, and demonic. And again, that demonic is very, very rare. There are specific people in this world who spend their entire life focusing in on it. You've got the Conjuring. I can't think of their names now. People that were in the Conjuring movie. Warrens.
Yeah.
John Zaffis, who is their nephew, is a demonologist.
Yeah.
And that's their focus. Not something I want to do. And I interviewed John Zaffis before on my old podcast, and I said, you've got to be insane to do what you're doing. I mean, there's got to be days where because in the forest. Go ahead.
Doesn't he have a museum filled with haunted things?
Haunted things. Yeah. He's got the original Annabelle.
Yeah.
How does he keep the spirits to leave him alone though?
So he has them sealed in a place. He has them sealed in a case that have got some, what he believes to be religious protections on it to keep him from getting out.
Okay.
So I actually asked him, I said, is there anything that you've ever been given that you just don't want to keep? And he said, let's put it this way. I have a boat.
Froze.
I'm telling you, we got weird spirits on here. You froze for a second, Tom. It's creeping me out, man.
Yeah.
Go back to the boat.
Hold on. Just a second here. Let me do this. Maybe
we start talking about evil demonic spirits, and Tom is freezing in the middle of fucking.
Yeah. So he said that he's probably gone out in his boat a few times, and Lake Michigan's probably a little bit more haunted than it should be. So he's implied that he dumped some things that he doesn't even want.
Yeah.
So, items can be haunted. I've talked about this before, but a lot of times people, in the past, all the way up to about the 1930s, 1940s, if a child would die, they would actually take part of the hair of that child and make a doll out of them.
Yeah.
Or some sort of memory item. Right. Also, too, there are some.
Lincoln's son. I'm sorry again. I have to interrupt. Abraham Lincoln. His son died. His young son died,
really?
And they did seances.
Seances. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To contact the boy.
Yeah, Lincoln's wife was really into it. She was a spiritualist, big time.
Mary Todd, right?
Mary Todd. She actually spent the last part of her life trying to reach out to Lincoln, and she. But so items can have spiritual attachments. I'm not wearing it right now, but I have a necklace that's I'll show you it's an ankh, just like my tattoo. Okay? Yeah. So my tattoo right there.
Look at that. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that was my paranormal group. But anyway, I have an ankh necklace that I got when I was 12. I belonged to a youth group called D Malay. I don't know if you guys know what D Malay is. No. It's the Masonic boys groups like Boy Scouts, but with the Masons.
Oh, wow.
Our fraternity group was the Inc. chapter, and we all got this little necklace. And I had mine, and I wear it a lot. When you wear something like that, I think part of your energy can be put into that item.
Yeah.
A talisman, if you want it, for a better way of saying it. I pass that on. Part of my energy is still in it.
Right.
Can I be attached to that? Can I come back or can part of my energy be attached to that particular item?
Oh.
Supernatural, the TV show Supernatural,
yeah,
they kind of got it right where they're like, well, the item could be haunted. We got to destroy the item to get rid of whatever's attached to it. I believe that's possible, but again, it's a TV show. But anyway,
so I remember I saw one of these stories where there was a Ouija board that the kids were playing around with, like teenagers, and like it freaked them all out. Like a demon comes through the Ouija board, a portal or something like that. They go to a trash can, a metal trash can outside. They burn the Ouija board. They wake up the next day. That same Ouija board is back in the house, unburned.
So we can talk about Ouija boards for a second.
Yeah, because I want to know this too, because I feel like that's just a big crock of you know what.
I get asked that question a lot. Are Ouija boards evil? I'm like, well, so this is my K2 meter. This is, anybody who's watched TV shows kind of knows what a K2 meter is. Yeah. This picks up electronic magnetic fields. Yeah. And
is that Bill Chappell invention?
I don't know who invented it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But the concept is that if you have a ghost by you, you can ask it to touch it once for yes, twice for no. You can ask it questions. This thing will light up.
Can you leave it on while we're on here and see if a ghost comes?
But here's the problem. As soon as I turn my phone on and I get close to it.
Yeah. Because it's energy.
It's energy.
Electric field.
So is it, and I'm not saying they do this, but is it possible that TV shows may be manipulating some things for ratings?
100%. Yeah.
So anyway, so this is a K2 meter. There is no difference between this and a Ouija board. You're asking this questions and expecting responses. Sure. A Ouija board, you're asking questions and expecting responses. Mm-hmm. The difference is that typically when people ask me, is a Ouija board haunted? And I'll say, well, what is your experiences with it? Well, when I was a teenager, me and my friends were in a basement, lit a bunch of candles, and started asking if the devil is real. Why would you want to ask that question in the first place? So you're asking negative questions and hoping to have something to respond to you that is negative. So
basically you make it evil, whatever you ask.
Make it evil, whatever it is. They have pink Ouija boards for girls.
I want one.
They used to sell them at Toys R Us, where it had little cards, like questions that you could ask it, like, am I going to marry somebody rich? Is my husband going to be handsome? Little tiny questions. It was designed for kids. It is totally it was a toy. And yes, spiritualists did use Ouija boards, but I think they're easily manipulated because people will sometimes move it and not realize that they're moving it. So my advice is, if you're going to use a Ouija board, don't ask if the devil is real. Don't ask if you're going to die. Don't do.
You're going to find out.
You're going to find out. You're going to invite that negative energy in. So.
All right. Where were we?
So I'm sorry. There's one. See, I can't remember which ghost thing it was on, but it was on one of them.
It wasn't that Baggins, was it?
It could have been. I've watched them all like 10 times. My favorite is the Ghost Brothers, I think is what it's called. No, I'm sorry, Ghost in the Hood. That's my favorite one.
Know what? I typically don't watch them because I throw things at the TV because they make me angry.
But the Ghost in the Hood one, you got to watch it because they film it out in like LA, and it's like these brothers going to these like strange place, and like they go to this like funeral home, and like
a lot of people die in the hood. A lot of people get shot in the hood.
Yeah. I know, but it's funny watching the black people do it because they get freaked out really, really easy, and they're like jumpy.
Black people do not. I'm sorry. Black people have told me this. Okay, I know black people, y'all. They've told me that they do not like messing with that stuff, that type of thing. They get freaked out really easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and African Americans come from a very religious background. Very religious background.
Yes, they do.
So, I'll tell you the show you should try to check out, and it didn't last very long, that I really, really liked, was Paranormal Cops. They were police officers out of Chicago. I think there's only 5 or 6 episodes, but they were the most realistic paranormal investigation I saw on TV, because there were times they would have gone to ghost hunt and nothing happened. And they said something happened, and that's the reason why the show didn't last. Oh, I froze again. We still there?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
I think it's
okay.
Spirits.
All right. But yeah, so honestly, I think Paranormal Cops was a really, really good show. I interviewed one of the lead investigators on my old podcast, and I really liked the show because they were honest. Yep, nothing's here. And they actually, yeah.
I'm so sorry, real quick, just because I saw it. Could you just real quick, because like you hang out with spirits and stuff, can you ask General Patton if he watches over me? I'm being serious.
I think I would probably have to be in the room, but maybe you should ask General Patton if he watches.
Well, I'm afraid to. I don't want him to come sneaking on me. This is my bedroom right here. I don't know if you know that. And I don't need General Patton coming during, any kind of...
Well, here's my theory about that.
My papa told me he did. My papa.
I don't think spirits can actually go into a place where we're intimate. I don't think that they could come and watch us, knocking
come on, I do. I believe they're watching you get the boogie down if you get my...
Nah, I don't think they can. I honestly, and maybe it's just me because I really don't want to think that there's some ghost.
Right. One day you might get a surprise little poke in the butt or something. You'd be like, whoa, lady, hey, is that you? Like, no, it wasn't me. And then you get a ghost figure in your butt.
Let me play another EVP. You're actually going to hear are you trying to poke me, Jason? Is that what you're trying to do?
He's trying to, do you feel it?
No, okay, so wait.
Okay.
Let him play the EVP.
No, go ahead, Jason.
I forgot.
Look, see?
I was going to... No, it'll come back.
There was something else I wanted to bring up about the TV shows. One of the things that drives me nuts is, so they did that TAPS in Europe.
Yeah.
They went into these old
castles,
ancient buildings, castles and stuff, and they were talking modern day slang English.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, this is a French monastery from the early 1300s. Maybe, just maybe, you should learn a little ancient Latin and ask that question in Latin.
That'd be cool.
And see if you get a different response.
I don't know why, but for some reason, Chucky, Ade Due Dimbala just pops in my head.
Yeah. Or they went into a barn. I remember watching one where they went into a barn and apparently there's some horse ghost that was seen.
Wow.
And they're asking the horse questions like, do you know you're dead? I'm like, it's a freaking
horse.
Ask it if it wants a sugar cube or an apple or something like that.
Yeah, you want a carrot, Mr. Horse?
Yeah, exactly. Ask your EVP questions in the way you want a response. I get some very, very good EVPs. I've been told by other paranormal investigators or asked, how do you get such good EVPs? Because you have some incredible EVPs. One, it's the question you ask. Two, it's the tone you use. It's the way you ask the questions. I've gone on ghost hunts and ghost tours where people are doing this. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me how old you are? Or can you tell me your name? Can you tell me how old you are? Can you give me... I'm like, dude, slow down.
That made me.
Ask the questions. Put some inflection into it.
Like you would a normal person in real life. They want to be treated
like a normal person.
Yeah. I get it.
So one of the best or one of the funnest things that I've gotten in all the 37 years of being a ghost hunter is I love it when I get my name said. And this one here, you're actually going to hear a ghost say, Tom. It's kind of digital.
Do it again.
Are you Tom?
Oh, that's cool. I'm reading banana.
Yeah. And then I'll play another one here. Well, let's show a picture. Did I show this? Did I show the light?
Not yet.
No, we saw pre-show.
All right, let me show you this one right here. Okay, so that is a streak of energy, and that's my hand right there, and I'm getting a cold spot. And this is back in 2007 at the Rio Grande in Ogden, Utah.
Yeah, what is that, a sewing machine behind, or is it like a weapon?
That's a pump. It was a septic pump. So I'll explain. Okay. Let me turn that off.
Is that your hand?
That is my hand right there.
You just said that.
And I'm
sorry, I wasn't listening.
And I'm getting a cold spot. I think it was October. We're in the basement of this old train station in Ogden, Utah. Now, Ogden, Utah has, on 25th Street, has a very interesting history. At one point, Al Capone owned about 90% of the city of Ogden.
Alfonso Capone. That's like
Alfonso Capone. And what they would do is they would use the trains coming in from Canada at the Ogden station. And at the Ogden station, they had a basement and they had an underground tunnel that went to all the little stores on 25th Street. And they would bring the alcohol in, take it down into that basement, and basically water it down and then ship it out all over the country. The Ogden Rio Grande, that's where it was. And that's where that picture was taken. We're in the basement and we're in this back room, and I think that little pump was like
where all the bad guys were.
Yeah.
So you didn't see it live? You didn't see a light or streak?
No, we did not see it live. It was an actual photograph after the photo was taken.
That's cool.
Interesting story about Ogden's tunnels. Me and a buddy of mine were staying at the hotel there, and we went because we heard about the tunnels. We wandered down to the basement and we found an entrance into the tunnels. Now, most of the tunnels are kind of blocked off and you can't access it anymore. The city has access to it. So we went crawling through this hole with our little flashlight, and we're walking through underneath 25th Street, and we come across a room that has the old Western swing bar doors in it. And you open it up, and there was a bar in there. They had speakeasies down there.
That's so cool.
We were in there, and we started doing an investigation, and all of a sudden those doors just started doing this really, really quickly by themselves. It was really cool. Needless to say, because of what we did, they actually blocked up that entrance, and you can't get in it anymore.
Wow.
So,
okay, so like y'all snuck.
Go ahead.
Y'all did a little sneak, and you weren't supposed to go down there.
We weren't supposed to do it.
I would have done it in a second.
I didn't consider it trespassing because nobody really owns it anymore, so I didn't consider it trespassing. You had a question, Jason?
Okay. Yeah, so two quick things really quick. I want to get your take on it. About 20 years ago, I worked third shift security at an old hotel in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. And I would walk the floors, and typically everything was pretty quiet. Typically there was never any problems. But there was one time I was sitting in my office and my head was back against the wall and I was just chilling. I wasn't asleep. I actually had Art Bell on the radio. And I'm just listening and everything's quiet, everything's good. And I swear to you, there was an invisible ghost dog come down the hallway. And I don't even know how to describe it because you couldn't see it with your eyes and you couldn't hear it with your ears. But I swear to you, and I wasn't drunk, I wasn't high, I wasn't impaired. I swear there was an invisible ghost dog come down this hallway and was barking at me, standing in the door, barking at me. And I remember looking at it like, what is going on? Is that a real thing?
What are you doing here,
I've actually had two experiences with dogs.
Okay.
So I've had two ghost dogs. One was at the Salt Lake City County building in their basement. Story goes that a homeless guy got in there with his dog and was living down there. Nobody knew it. He ended up dying, and the dog wouldn't leave the guy's body.
He died down there?
Yeah, he died in the basement. And the dog wouldn't leave. And they ended up having to kill the dog because to get to the guy's body because the dog was protecting him and wouldn't. So they ended up killing the dog. Wow. We were in that basement, and we actually saw the dog run towards us and then disappear. Wow. Physically run right towards us.
Get away from my person.
I almost drew my gun because I thought there was a dog coming at us.
You do carry a weapon when you go on your hunts? You strap up?
Yes, I
awesome.
Do. Yeah, I strap up. I am a.
Do you put like silver bullets in there to shoot the ghost?
No. If there's a werewolf coming at me, I'm probably just gonna shit myself and just let it. Okay. Because
what about salt? What about salt? Do you throw salt?
So salt.
I don't believe that does anything. I mean, you can do a little circle thing. I watch shows. I read.
So here's the reason behind salt. Salt was originally used as a preservative. and they believed that it also had its healing
properties.
Thank you.
Although it kills most people now, to be honest.
Well, too much salt. I think there's something else with that, but that's a whole nother show. Anyway, so the idea that salt protects you from evil developed because we used it as a preservative. It protected food from being evil and making us sick, because people really didn't understand what rotten food was back in 1000 AD all the way up till about 1930. We had no really idea about that. So that's where the idea of salt comes in. Garlic is the same way. Garlic was used as a natural remedy. A lot of gypsies used it as a remedy. So it got the idea that if you wear garlic, it's going to protect you from something that's evil. That's where it came from.
But not. I mean, that's just always been vampires, though.
No, there's been a lot of other stories about garlic protecting you from monsters and ghosts and from illness.
It's probably because you stink and it don't want to come nowhere near you. You fucking stink. Sorry, cursing again.
Salt. It really comes back down to what do you believe. If you go on a ghost hunt with me and you're really freaked out, what I usually tell people is, how many of you guys seen the movie Bolt? Disney's Bolt?
Oh yeah.
The little white dog.
The little dog. Yeah. In it, he has his little sidekick, which is the hamster. You know. Yeah. I love the hamster because whenever he got in his little hamster ball, he became invincible. Nothing could destroy him. He was super hamster. So what I tell people is, imagine you're in a giant hamster ball, drill some holes in it so you can breathe. And then if you believe here and here that nothing can penetrate that hamster ball, most likely nothing will. It visualizes building up a shield around your body. A lot of people will put a shield around them when they go on a ghost hunt. I typically don't put a shield or any sort of protection around me when I go on a ghost hunt because I want to be the target. If I'm taking people on a ghost hunt, and again, it takes a lot to freak me out. I've been very desensitized by it. I want to be the target.
I can't imagine going somewhere with you and then you getting scared. I'd freak out.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it takes quite a lot to freak me out. One of the funniest stories is I did this tour at the Barronwalder Mill, and there was a stairwell. At the bottom of the stairwell, there was this big, heavy door, and it's really hard to close. I mean, because it's old, it's warped. Anyway, we're walking down, I have like 3 or 4 people behind me. We're walking down the stairs, and all of a sudden that door just slammed shut. I was like, that was awesome. Did you guys see that? I turned around, and there was nobody there. Everybody had left. I'm standing there by myself. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just walk back up and find where my tour group is. But if you believe that, it's great. Things that have happened to me on a ghost hunt, I've been pushed down a flight of stairs, I want to say 4 or 5 times.
So they really do, they can produce enough energy to do that.
Yeah, I actually had cigarette burns show up on my arm once. Wow. I did an investigation in an old house where the kids, a couple of kids were killed by their father. And one of the things that he used to do is he used to take a cigarette and burn one. So I had cigarette burns up on my arm, had chairs thrown at me. I was in the kitchen once and had knives go across the counter and just come shooting across at me.
Can I be honest? I'm getting a little creeped out right now. I swear I am. Last time it happened with you too. Last time I was just sitting here and it's like all of a sudden, like it's 80 degrees in Alabama right now, and I'm wearing layers, and I just got cold. It's weird. I don't get cold. I'm 41 years old. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but I don't get that cold.
So yeah, it takes a lot to freak me out. So
okay, so I've got one freak out story myself, and then this is the only time like I got freaked out. My brother and I, we were teenagers. We're sitting in the living room playing video games, and this is like 1995 or something like that. And we lived out in the country, surrounded by cornfields. There's nothing for miles. I mean, just nothing. And 3 o'clock in the morning, we're playing video games, and there was a big picture window in our living room, and it's 10 foot off the ground. I mean, you cannot stand on the ground outside and touch the window. That's how high up it is. And I swear to you, the curtains were pulled too. And right in the middle of that window, we hear this. I'll see if I can get it here. Did you hear that? like a knock.
Tapping?
Yeah, like pop, 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 and it was loud, and it was right in the middle of that window. There was no way there's anybody outside, and there is no way anybody could reach that high up off the window. My brother and I, we look at each other. We didn't even say a word. We shut the game off. We shut the TV off, and we went to bed. We didn't even say a word. We went to bed. We went to sleep. We didn't even talk about it until the next day. And like, did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. That's why we went to bed.
Now you're just terrified to say anything because it might make it worse.
Yeah. Because then it'll make it real. Now, if it happened now, I would open up the window and look. But back then, no way I'm looking.
So here's the cool. I kind of had something similar. So one of my very good friends, Bill Kilpack, him and I used to spend almost every weekend at his house. I mean, I would leave school on Friday and go to school on Monday from his house. We were that close of friends. And him and I were at his house one weekend. His parents had left to go up to their cabin. It was just the two of us. And I had just started getting into the ghost hunting, and we had just figured out what we were doing. And we got talking. And Bill tells me, he's like, it's really strange. I occasionally, in this house and in some other places, see a dark shadow. And he describes this dark shadow. And we start talking about it. And all of a sudden, on his front door, we hear this boom, 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 boom. And we thought it was a couple of the guys. Him and I scream like little girls, go to the door, open it, and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Nobody there. And we're like, Jim, you a-hole, where are you? You know, we're calling out everybody. Nobody shows up.
Just messing with you.
We thought it was a couple of the buddies that were messing with us. We closed the door. I'm kidding you not. Bill's hand is on the doorknob. He closes the door. As soon as the door closes, boom, 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 boom. He rips it open, and there's nobody there.
Y'all need new britches.
I have never seen two 17-year-old boys run through a house that quickly, turning on every effing light in that house.
With the Halloween scream, like when men scream on camera. That's my favorite thing, when they go,
every light was on that house, and him and I slept in that front room instead of in the bedrooms on the couches. That scared the living hell out of us.
Yeah.
And another funny story with Bill and I, another night, we were coming back from a DMLA meeting. It was Thursday night, just him and I were driving down this long road, and we're talking about the Salt Lake Masonic Temple and how it's haunted. We're driving along, and he turns this curve, gets in the straight, and the lights, he turns his high beams on. And I swear, him and I both swear to God, there was a decapitated head sitting on the side of the road. And it
looked like a good horror movie plot.
Yeah, it looked like a Native American. Him and I scream, and Bill goes, we got to turn around. We got to turn around. I'm like, effing no, man. You're not effing turning around. Don't you effing turn around. And he turns around, and the head's gone. He wasn't there. And to this day, him and I will swear on a stack of Bibles we saw that head.
Y'all saw the ghost of Okalaja, the Hank Williams song?
I'm telling you, man.
Okalaja.
So, to bring this, to round this about, I think that when we do tell ghost stories, either our subconscious mind starts hearing things, or, again, the ghost like hearing this.
I'm telling you right now, I feel
and they start to listen.
But you're not alone. You're experiencing it with other people, so something is happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so two questions really quick.
Sure.
Just could you address like Indian burial ground stuff? Because I'm curious about that. And the second one is shadow people. Where do shadow people fall in?
Okay, so we'll dive into the Indian stuff. There are a couple of places in this world that I would love to investigate. The Battle of Bighorn, I would love to investigate.
I've been there.
Yeah, I would love to spend some time. Well, I'm going to say there's 3 places, and I haven't gone yet. That I would love to, but it would have to be done with respect. All 3 of these places would have to be done with some sort of respect. Indian burial grounds, they could be anywhere. They could have been there 100 years ago, and 10 years ago you built your damn house on top of it and didn't know it.
There's a few down here in Alabama, like some really creepy ones. There's one on a really old back road in a holler, and everybody knows it's an Indian burial ground and nobody messed with it. Even the people who bought it and put a cow pasture next to it did not build on that part of the land. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's look at Native American religion. They're very, very protective of their dead. Very protective of their dead. So I would not be surprised if there are Indian warrior ghosts who protect those places. I would like to investigate something like that, but do it respectfully. Second
you haven't done a whole lot of Indian stuff.
No, it's I mean, I did an investigation at a house, and I think I've got thought I had an EVP from it, but I did an investigation at a place in Magna, Utah, that we believe had an Indian burial ground underneath it at one point, but we could never confirm it. But there was history in that area of Native Americans, and but I've never really ever gone to what they would call Native American or Indian burial ground. I've never done it. It would be kind of cool. It would probably be one of those places where I would turn around and run away if something really bad happened. I don't care how many rounds of ammo I have. You can't kill a ghost with a gun.
That's what I was going to say earlier. It's like he doesn't carry it to kill ghosts. He carries it to kill people trying to screw with him when he's doing his investigations.
I carry a gun at a ghost hunt because a lot of times we're going into old abandoned buildings and you have no idea who's in there.
Hobos and crackheads.
Hobos and crackheads. Exactly right. And old cemeteries. I just did a ghost hunt out at Hans Mill here in Missouri. It is the location of a Mormon massacre that happened in 1837. 18 people were killed on October 30th around 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
I didn't get any audio. I had some teenagers show up. I did a live broadcast on X. I had some teenagers show up, so I didn't really get it done. But there was a point where I heard what sounded like footsteps walking on the stones all around me.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any of the feel that I normally do. None of the icky booky chilly chills like that.
When you know something.
I want to go back and try it again. Maybe when it's a little bit colder, so I don't have to worry about being interrupted by a bunch of teenage kids who were drinking, as they were drinking.
That's what I used to do.
Oh no, we're not drinking at all. I'm like, that's a Bud Light in your hand, kid. I may be 53 years old, but I ain't stupid. Okay.
Okay. So what about shadow people?
Shadow people. So I have two theories about shadow people. My first one is I believe that shadow people are actually images from the future that we're seeing. That's why they have no physical form. Because
like time travel, or like
with sense. So honestly, ghost hunting, I think, or the way we're ever going to believe the paranormal or prove the paranormal is through quantum physics. Quantum physics believes that everyone has a line, their lifeline. Okay, we're going to go back to the TV show Quantum Leap because they explain it really well.
I watched that when I was little.
Everybody has their birth to their end. Your family, your parents are somewhere in the middle of that, and before that. All of those timelines can be connected into a giant ball and cross over each other. Yeah. Future, past, whatever. I believe dark shadows or shadow people are images from the future that have not been developed yet because they don't actually know what they're truly going to look like, or we don't know what they're going to truly look like because they haven't been born yet, and that's why they're a shadow. And some reason they're crossing over and we're able to see that.
That's cool.
Can there be dark images that are evil? I do believe that sometimes that's how they will project themselves, because religion has taught us, especially my religion and a Catholic church believes that demons never ever had a physical body. Okay?
Yeah.
There was that big meeting in heaven before we all came down, and 3/4 of the host of heaven decided to follow Satan.
And they came down.
They never got a body. And that's one of the reasons why they hate us so much, is because we've had the opportunity to have a physical, emotional life, and they never have. Yeah. So I think there can be some dark shadows or images that don't have a physical form that are demonic. Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, okay, all that's good. So it popped in my head. What about the black-eyed children?
There's a really good documentary. It's called Children of the Grave.
Okay.
It's done by, I can't think of her name now. Rosemary. She's written a bunch
of all the supernatural things, the thing that would freak me out the most is the black-eyed children.
Yeah.
I've heard there was like a warning. Like
Google Children of the Grave and check it out. It's really, really interesting when it talks about children's spirits. I sometimes think that when we interact with a child spirit, it's actually not a child. It's an adult projecting themselves as a child.
So creepier.
Yeah. Not just that. I think they're just trying to project themselves at a time that they were happy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So,
man, you make me feel better about a lot of stuff.
Black-eyed children, I've never ever come across a black-eyed child. I've heard the stories.
I think they're aliens.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm eating these. Have you tried these?
I ate a banana a minute ago.
Have you tried these? They're the buffalo
no.
Cheetos.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, they're evil. Anyway.
Since everybody's showing off what they're eting, I'm eating
dollar store cherry sours.
Oh,
yes.
Sours.
I love these things.
Yeah. So I have encountered what I would call child spirits, and I think there are some who have passed away dramatically, car accidents, or they're at the Salt Lake City County building. 2 children are actually seen there. It was a boy and a girl. Their parents worked there. I can't remember if they cleaned the building or something, but the kids would come along. One of the elevators was being repaired, and they stepped into the elevator shaft, and they both died. And there's a room that people will they'll put toys out for these kids, and there's a room where those toys would just all of a sudden just show up in that room.
Man.
And there's
so much fun.
Yeah. So I think child spirits are ones that have passed on who just don't know they have died, or they just want to keep playing. They don't want to cross over.
That's a good segue to one of your EVPs.
Yeah.
That one's really good.
What? Hi, Mom?
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Did we already do it?
Mom. No, we did. Hi, Mom. There was another one. There's another kid one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did it right before the show.
Hey, real quick before we go into anything else, I'm just going to take a sidebar real quick because I know I'll forget.
What you're doing here?
Play this one. Go ahead.
Oh, that I wanted to give a shout out. Our friend Casey, conservative Casey, and it asked, is there any chance we give a shout out to brain cancer Brett? So hi, brain cancer Brett. I just wanted to do that before I knew we finished the show, and I would feel really bad if I did not. So hello, Brett. Say hello,
Hi,
guys.
Brett. All right, so I'm going to play this one. You're going to hear a little kid's voice say, "I'm hiding."
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
What you're doing here?
Oh man. Oh.
Where you hiding, you little shit? That's what I would say next.
Let's do this one. My wife hates this one because she's on a ghost hunt with me, and it says her name. Hold on.
Is that it?
No, did you hear it?
You had the kids?
Hold on, let me do this. Here we go. You're gonna hear Stacy. Stacy.
Wow.
I did. I heard it a minute. That's the one I heard a minute ago. Whoa. My dog keeps looking something at the door.
And then,
I'm getting the chili willies.
Oh, we'll play peekaboo. I love peekaboo. Okay, so
No
right at the
way.
very beginning, you're gonna have a little kid say,
I did. I heard it a bit.
peekaboo, and then it laughs. So listen real close.
Ugh. Kids freak me out, man.
Remember I played you that one, the British voice one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That peekaboo was in the same building.
Oh, cool.
So the story is.
Can you imagine they were right there with you, and they were like peekaboo?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I have it. I have to find it. There is another EVP in that same building. When I first walked into the building and I'm talking to the people that I set the ghost hunt up with, you hear a little girl say, "Are we going to have fun tonight?"
Oh,
There's no little kids with us. And that's the same voice as the girl that just says peekaboo.
Do you have a lot of like growls or like mean ones? Do you have any of those? They're like, get out!
I've got loaded up right here. Let's see here.
Sorry.
Okay, so while you're looking for that, the one thing that I think my favorite moment of TV ghost stuff is Josh Gates is on this island in Mexico, the doll island, right? With all the dolls hanging from the trees. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
And
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, so there's this scene. It's crazy. Like a little girl died on the island, and to appease the spirits, everybody kept on bringing these dolls and hanging them up around the island. And so Josh Gates, and maybe it's just for TV, but it looked like it freaked him out. There's this doll hanging here, and like he's looking at it, and he's like, if this doll blinks its eyes, I'm gonna shit my pants. And the dog blinked his eyes.
Stop
the doll
it.
did.
Did he
It's
prove the
and
second part?
it freaked
Did he
me
show
out.
you the brown mark?
Josh Gates
That
is my
would've been good
favorite.
TV. Like, I really
Josh
shit my
Gates
pants.
is
I
awesome.
totally Joe Biden myself.
Let's see here.
Okay, you got a mean one? Oh, good out.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Trying to see if I've got the one that I wanted to play, but I don't see it. That's so many.
I'm gonna watch The Conjuring tonight now. You reminded me of that one. It's getting close to Halloween. I want to go watch that series. The last one kind of I didn't like it.
Let me put this over here.
Like the first one.
And let's see if I can share that. I'm going to do one. You're going to hear Dad said 3 times.
Okay.
It gets louder. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Dad?
Dad?
That's so sad
Dad?
too. That makes me feel so bad because I feel like a little kid's there and they think that you're Dad.
Yeah.
Like, Dad.
And I'll play. This is another good one. This is.
Trying to hear it from a hot dog.
You hear Tom's. You're going to hear him say, Tom's here.
Bedtime. Anyway, should we read this here? She's having brutal problems.
Did you hear that?
Oh, what? Yeah, Tom's here.
That's like poltergeist stuff.
Yeah, I'll play it again.
Anyway, should we read this here? She's having brutal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love that. That was actually at a place called Merker Cemetery.
Oh.
Okay, so I have a question. So when you go to these places, do you announce yourself like, I am Tom, I am here to investigate?
Yeah.
Or are these people, are these ghosts, like they know you before you show up?
On that last one, it was a place that I had investigated a lot. So I do believe that they know me.
Oh. It's like he's back. That's why it's like, Tom's here.
Tom's here.
Hey,
So
Tom's back. Hey.
on my screen right here, this is another good one. You see
wow.
that shadow where I'm showing right there? That's me.
Yeah. Okay.
There's something standing right next to me.
Oh, yeah.
As I get closer to it.
That's a peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
You notice how
he's looking around the corner. Oh, it's a face.
Yes.
You can see the face more detailed.
Gosh.
Oh,
But
dude,
you
that's
can't
freaky.
see my face.
That's
at all.
freaky. That's freaky.
That is freaky.
Okay, so there's that
Look
one.
at it. Oh, it's seeing it go more clearer and clearer. Ugh.
And then let's show you the little kid's face.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Then there's another face right there.
Look at it just peeking around the corner. Oh my gosh, a baby face. Ah!
Oh.
So this photo was actually captured by a good friend of mine named Russ Larson. We actually lost count of how many ghosts we actually see in this photo.
That is wild.
So, yeah. There's a bunch of shadows over here. So I'll zoom into that one. This one's transparent. You can kind of see a figure there. There's another figure there.
Oh, look at it. It looks like it's got its arms up.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And this one kind of looks like an alien to me, but that's just me. And then let's see here. I'll show the up one. This was at the Wendover Air Force Base. I'll open this up.
Tom's here.
This is the Wendover Air Force Base. Now, the history behind the Wendover Air Force Base is this is where they built the 2 H bombs that they dropped on Hiroshima and Japan.
I
And they
imagine
did the
that's
training.
haunted.
This is their dance hall. Okay, there's 3 of investigators. I took this picture. There is nobody upstairs, but as you zoom in, There's a shadow in that window.
Okay, we can't see the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'm
sorry.
I get excited seeing this stuff.
Oh. There we go.
Oh,
Can you see the out shadow?
Tom's here.
In there?
I do.
There's like an outline
of
an body in that.
Cause see, that looks like a black. What y'all was talking about earlier, black spirit. But I guess
Black
it's just,
shadow, dark shadow. So.
I'm sorry. If
Yeah.
I don't know Ghost Hunt, y'all see somebody.
You
see how I act normally. I don't know how I do.
It's interesting too because I've actually kind of stopped doing photos just because I never really capture anything. It's really, really rare. I can go into a haunted location, take 200 or 300 pictures, and not capture anything. Yes, Patton.
Okay, I have a question. I was meaning to ask you this last time. Okay, so I downloaded on Play Store. Okay, just like they use for the EVP, and it shows like stick people like they have on the Xbox and things like that, right? They have the image of, like stick people will pop up when no one's
SLS,
there.
right? Is it SLS?
It's called Ghost something. I got it from some ghost hunting show that,
Okay.
and it can talk to you. You ask it questions. It's almost like the meter thing that you have. But I feel like they put words in there. Like I'm always questioning everything, so I can't, believe it. But like I deleted it. I deleted it so fast because I went to my living room and I'm going around and I'm looking, and all of a sudden one of those stick people. It pops up over like where our speakers are, and I tried looking around. I was like, "Is somebody here?" And the thing came back and was just like, "Yes." And I was just, I wanted to
So
die.
here's my theory behind it, and unfortunately, I think what's happened is the paranormal has become so popular, and when something becomes that popular, everybody wants to make a buck.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to make their.
This app was free though.
Yeah, but there was probably ads that popped up.
True. Yeah.
So they were making money off of those ads.
The guy that I mentioned earlier, Bill Chappell, he's the one that invented like the Mel meter and all this other equipment because he lost his daughter, was it Melanie, I think maybe? And like he spent his whole adult life trying to contact his daughter again. And so like all these tools that are on all these ghost shows, Bill Chappell's the one that invented all of this stuff.
It freaked me out good, is what I'm saying.
And there's some out there that I really, really like. I like the K2 just because it's.
That's what I like. I like the simple thing.
It's very simple. It is easy to manipulate, but it's also easy to protect it from being manipulated. So when you go on the ghost hunt with me, I ask everyone to turn their cell phones off. We don't want their phones on because we don't want it to interfere with anything.
Right.
Then also to, a basic digital recorder. Those are probably the two biggest things that I'll take on a ghost hunt, and I rely on my audio more than and my own personal feelings, and I'll rely on anything else.
Yeah.
I do not like Ghost Box. Everybody's like, I don't know if you've heard of the Ghost Box, but it's like a little radio that just scans and it's supposed to stop at certain words.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't believe it.
The radio frequency where it hops the frequencies, that one?
Yes.
I like that one because it always spooks me out.
Yeah, and that's the problem is that it seems like every single time it's something creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never like
hi or
hi Tom.
You've got nice panties or nothing like that. It's never anything sweet and kind. It's always something dark.
But were you wearing nice panties at the time?
I was wearing nice panties. They kind of rode up a little bit, but anyway. They had flowers on them.
Like, Ghost, check out my panties. Dude, you gotta check out my panties. I'm worried about good panties for this ghost hunt.
Good ghost hunt.
So, yeah,
I'm all stuffy.
the problem I have is, and they said that they've released how they do it, but I don't believe it. For a long, long time, they never released the
specs,
the programming that they used to create the device. So is it programmed to look for certain type of inflections or certain types of valves to make things sound like it? I do not like cell phone cameras they have some apps that they use for ghost hunting.
Yeah, that's the ones I download. I'm telling you though, they set it up where you're gonna freak yourself out because I was all alone in my house and I will never do it again. It scared the shit out of me.
Again, honestly, I think the best that everybody, I get asked this a lot. Well, what type of equipment do you take on a ghost hunt? The first and best thing that you should take on your ghost hunt is yourself with an open mind. Always question everything that happens.
I question everything.
I have a hilarious story about that. So I took a radio host on a ghost hunt. This was in Utah. It wasn't Keith. It was somebody else.
Hi, Keith.
So I took Erin on her very first ghost hunt, and we went to the building where you hear the peekaboo and the little girl saying and the German voice. She's the radio host that I took on this with a couple of her listeners, and we're in this one little building, and she's standing there, and she's like, Tom, I'm getting a cold chill. I'm getting a really, really cold chill. I tapped her on the shoulder and said, Erin, there's an air vent right next to you. So look at your environment. Look what's around you. Make sure those things aren't physical or possible to confuse you.
Right.
Then when you can eliminate all the normal stuff and there's still something there, that abnormal is where you want to look. That's what's fun about ghost hunting. Not only that, but I get to go wandering through historical sites late at night with no tour guide.
Yeah.
No tour guide.
Awesome.
Yeah. I got to go up to Fort Bridger, Wyoming, which is a very historical site in that part of the country. It was the midpoint, or it was the stopping point before you got to Utah and California, across the Oregon Trail and across that. Mountain Men. It was an extremely important trading post. And it's just like all those other museums. They have little doors with a little window. You can look into the rooms. Yeah. They opened those doors for us, and we got to go walk into those rooms.
That's amazing.
Where people, historical people wandered through there.
Yeah.
Mark Twain went through Fort Bridger.
Yeah.
You've got all this history. That's
I died on the Oregon Trail once.
Dysentery.
Only once.
Yeah, of dysentery.
Yeah. I got mauled by a bear. But that's what's really cool about the ghost hunting to me, because I'm a history buff. I love the history side of stuff.
So have you ever smelled?
Sorry, go ahead.
Have you ever smelled anything?
Smell is a great trigger. They say that your sense of smell is the strongest memory trigger. I have gone into places and I've smelt cigarette smoke or cigar smoke, smelt the old lady perfume.
Yep.
I actually did an investigation down in Cimarron, New Mexico, at the hotel there. At one point they said that you would not come down to the bar and ask if somebody was shot. You'd ask how many people were shot.
Oh, wow.
That's how violent that bar was. I was in a room where the owner, one of the old owners, was shot in the back and died in. And I could smell blood. I could smell that copper blood smell. Really, really strong. And it's a memory trigger. Really, if you think about it, how many times have you smelled something you go, that smells just like my grandmother's cookies? Or
my sister says that all the time. My sister says that all of a sudden she'll smell my grandmother's perfume and the cigarettes, and I have done that before too. And I've always thought if there was ever a ghost that come to visit me, it would be my granny. So I believed it because we don't smoke in my house or anything. So it's like to smell a good cigarette smell and then her perfume.
Yeah. So yeah, I think memory smell is a good trigger, and I think that sometimes it will do that to let you know that they're there.
So all the senses. So there's sight, smell, like audio. Like is there a taste? Is there a taste? Yeah.
So okay, I'll share one of my favorite stories. I talked about the little bubble. How you supposed to put a shield over them. No, I didn't say butthole. Bubble. I said bubble.
I said bubble. Bubba. I got it.
So I don't put that bubble over me. I like that shield.
Wait, when I said taste something and she said butthole, I was just confused where she was going with it. So I'm sorry.
I tried to avoid that entire thing. That's why I said what I said. I redirected where I knew.
Imagine laying there in your bed at night, a ghost is like, I'm about to butthole him right on his open snoring mouth. bam. That's what I thought of. Just a good pop, you know.
See, that's why I tried to redirect her because I knew where she was gonna go. Anyway, so we're in the Baron Woolen Mill. We're in the Baron Woolen Mill, and there was this one room that we never really went into. It was a storage room. And I thought I saw something walk in there, a shadow walk in there. So I said, hey, let's go in there. So we go wandering in there, and we start doing an EVP session. And I don't have any bubbles up, I don't have any shields up, and all of a sudden I could smell stale beer, like somebody who had been drinking, breathing.
Oh, yeah, that breath. Ugh.
That breath. And I said, I can smell beer. And somebody says, I can smell it too. And then the next thing you know, I could taste beer. I could taste it. And then I started doing this.
Like you got drunk.
Started slurring my words.
Wow.
Started acting
You don't
drunk.
drink at all.
I don't. I haven't had a drop of alcohol in a very, very, very long time. So I instantly put my shields up and walked out of the room.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and I could not believe. So the story goes that there is a caretaker who died in that building. His name is Phil. We actually have proof that he died. We found a death certificate. We knew he worked at it. He was an older man. The Baron Woolen used to run 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. They were only off on Sundays. When the economy dropped during the Depression, they dropped down to 2 shifts, and in the 70s, and that's when Phil worked there, was in the late 60s, early 70s, as a caretaker. He would work overnight, maintaining the machines, greasing them, getting them ready for the next day. He was there all by himself. There's a term for Mormons who aren't really active in the church. They're called Jack Mormons. These guys are the ones who, you know, they'll drink their Jack Daniels and go to church on Sunday.
I see.
Yeah. We believe that Phil was a Jack Mormon. He was we know he's LDS because we found his obituary. We know he was LDS, but I think he liked to have a beer with his lunch in the middle of the night. He was found dead on a Monday morning. He had a heart attack on a Sunday night, was found dead on a Monday morning. And I believe, and I've seen him, I have physically seen his full apparition 7 times at the Baron Woolen Mill. I believe Phil connected with me because I was doing what he used to do. I was taking the place. I was the new caretaker. Him and I kind of connected together. And he was trying to share an experience that he had in this particular room. So yes, I do believe you can taste stuff. I do believe that they can make you taste stuff. I just don't think, I think it takes a lot of energy. Whenever we get a really big spike or really extreme active thing, a door closing or lights being turned on or something like that, it usually right after the level immediately drops, and we typically don't get anything else for the rest of the night.
Because it used all that energy for that one.
Used all that energy. The entire concept behind Ghost, you know, the Patrick Swayze movie, where it takes all that energy to move something, kind of drains them. I believe that's. I think that's a very good example.
I hear an echo now. See, ghosts are messing with us.
Because I keep leaning into the mic. Okay, anything else you guys want to talk about?
Well, okay, so if you ever make it up to Ohio, I'm only like 45 minutes away from the Mansfield Reformatory. Like, it's like, have you been there?
No.
Okay, so my wife's been there. Yeah, my wife's been there on an official tour before.
It's going to be no fair if y'all get to go on a ghost hunt and I don't get to go. I'm just saying, Jason.
You can come up here, too. Let's all do it together. Let's all do the Mansfield Reformatory.
Yeah. I would love to do it. Another one is down here in Missouri. They've got the Missouri Penitentiary in Jackson, Missouri.
I should bring Tom down to the holler and go to the Indian burial ground. It's just like 10 minutes away from me.
The one I really want to do, I'm a huge blues and jazz fan. I love blues and jazz. And I'll probably do it in February or March of next year. That's my plan. Is I want to go down to Robert Johnson. Do you know who Robert Johnson is?
No.
He's the blues musician that said that he sold his soul at the crossroads.
That one.
and he learned how to play guitar, and then he died suddenly. I want to go down to his gravestone and to the crossroads where they say.
I've always wanted to go to that crossroads
and do an
deal.
And do an investigation.
Show up.
Cool. Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I don't want nothing. I just want to see if you were really here. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
So I'd like to do that one. I am working on a location that is in Garnett, Kansas. I really want to do it, but unfortunately, it's $450 for the night.
Wow.
Lord, you'd have to get a group of people.
I don't want to do a group of people. I'd like to raise the money myself and just go solo. When I told the guy I wanted to go solo, he thought I was insane. He said, "You want to go by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." Are you sure about that?
People messing up my tour.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Okay, if you're okay with it.
The one place that I would love to go, like if I could choose any place on the planet to go investigate, it would be in Japan at that suicide forest.
Me too. So
man.
you know what? I never finished that out. I talked about going to Little Bighorn.
Yeah.
Gettysburg is another place that I want to go to. I would love to. I haven't had the opportunity to go to Gettysburg. I'm relatively close to it now, so I may end up hitting it within the next year or two. And the last place is Auschwitz.
Can you go there though?
To what? Gettysburg?
No, to the
Auschwitz. The
Japan forest.
Oh no, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, people go there all the time.
Do they?
It's a public
the suicide
place.
Forest.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's at the base of Mount Fuji or whatever.
Fuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to check that out. There's also
that one is
an
like creepy.
island off of Japan that is abandoned. That's supposed to be super haunted too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The Japanese culture believes in the afterlife and believes in ghosts, but it's very not talked about. So I have a book that I wrote a few years ago. It's called Talking to Yourself in the Dark, a how-to guide to the paranormal. And it's really just a very basic how to get started. I really need to dive back into it, add to it, because it was kind of short. But when it first came out, I was selling like 15, 20 copies of that book in Japan.
Wow.
Every year, I would get my royalty check back, and it would show 15 or 20 copies being sold in Japan. I was like, people know who I am in Japan. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Tom Carr in Japan.
Yeah, so I would love to do that. That would be awesome. Another cool thing, and I'm hoping to do that before I hit 60, is go back to Scotland. And my family, the Kerrs, have a castle, and you can actually rent out the entire castle now as an Airbnb.
Wow, that's awesome.
Scotland, don't they have that where they got the hole to the hell or whatever, or the?
I don't know. The hellhole?
Yeah.
That's in Russia.
That's in Russia. Yeah. In Scotland, so I can rent out my entire family's castle.
That's really cool.
And do a ghost hunt there.
That's
do
very
a ghost hunt in my ancestral home. That would be
Scottish.
Epic.
Scottish.
So,
okay, so listen, we're like at an hour and a half. I definitely want to do this again. Like this is fun. I like this. Okay, yeah.
This is fun.
And we'll have to. I've got some investigations coming up. I'll have some new evidence, some new stories to share, and I am working on a show of my own called America's Haunted History. I'm actually doing an episode that it was supposed to air this week on X, but I just got a 6-day ban, so I won't be back until Halloween.
Don't get in trouble again. I think that
I'm not going to, but apparently you're not allowed to say that somebody that committed treason should be handled in a way they used to handle it.
Just like Jason said, whatever happened to that dog that got tied up to a pole in Florida during the hurricane, he said that he wishes maybe somebody had gotten the same treatment, but he said the actual words. Just like a year ago on Christmas, I said that I hope Joe Biden gets a big D in his B for Christmas without any. And then I got
So yeah, I will be broadcasting my first episode of America's Haunted History on Halloween, and it's going to be about 15 minutes discussing the history of Halloween through in America. So I did a whole bunch of research on it. I'm going to talk about it, and then I just got confirmed, and that's one of the reasons why I'm wearing my Mothman shirt. I'm going to be talking to two guys out of Virginia who run the Mothman Festival. about Mothman. I just haven't confirmed the date
Point
yet.
Point Pleasant.
Yeah, Point Pleasant.
Yeah, I've seen so many shows on that place.
I want to go to the festival next year. It's like in September.
I'd be afraid to see the Mothman with the red eyes, right?
Yeah, the festival looks really cool. I would love to go. I'm fascinated by the Mothman story. The Mothman prophecy movie was really good.
Am I not correct, though, that if you're supposed to see the Mothman, that means death is coming?
I believe so, yeah. But I'm going to interview those guys.
Why do you want to see the Mothman, man?
So, and then I just wrapped up. Keith Malinak and I finished our video from our Ghost Hunter.
I can't wait to see that. I can't.
It's going to air on Halloween as well.
Does he scream like a girl?
Cool. What's that?
Does Keith scream like a girl?
You know what? We didn't have it. I don't want to share anything. Tune into Keith's show at the mic on Halloween. He starts around 1 o'clock Eastern.
Was he wearing his nice panties at the time?
I was wearing the nice panties.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, tune in with that, and then we'll have to do this again, and then we'll have to work on something maybe within the next 6 or 7 months where all three of us can meet up and somewhere more central and do a ghost hunt.
It'd be so much fun. I'm a screamer.
I'm totally fine with screamers. A woman screaming means I'm doing something right.
In the other realm and at home, I'm guessing. Look at you. I couldn't talk about ghost butts, buttholes on your mouth, but you sitting there talking about some dirty screaming.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was talking about women screaming on a ghost hunt. What are you talking about? Where are you going, Pat?
I'm sorry. I was picking up what you were putting down, Tom.
Taste this.
Anyway, I had a blast. If you have anyone in the Missouri area, or Nebraska or Kansas, relatively close to Kansas City, that is looking for somebody to come and investigate their location. I'm actually not far out of the Kansas City area. You can reach me on on Twitter. My handle is TCarP, and that's TCarp with an extra R. So TCARCARRP. Send me a message. I'd love to set something up. I'd love to investigate. Love to take you. And I love this. It's so much fun. If you've got questions, reach out to me, and I'm trying to get my followers up so I can actually make $2 or $3 on X, because that would be cool. I just hit
y'all go follow Tom.
1,050 followers, and it was great. You guys really helped me out, hit that first chunk of 500 followers. It was awesome. So I appreciate it.
You said we were better than Keith, I think is what it was.
Keith, yeah. So I got a few bumps from the from Pat Gray's show too, when I did Pat. Oh, and that's the other thing. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but probably March of April or next year, Keith and I will be doing Glenn Beck's museum. We just haven't got a date yet, so we're going to do a ghost hunt. I'm going to be heading back down to Texas and doing a ghost hunt, and I'm hoping I can get Glenn to go with us.
Tell him to wear one of those fancy hats he keeps posting about. Tell Patton said so.
And again, thanks guys, I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, this is great.
Welcome.
We love you,
This
Tom.
fun.
Yeah.
My tits are like
great.
soup in this thing, but I'm telling you, it was a good time.
Good times.
Okay, so how do people? You find you on TCar, Patton? How do people find you?
You can find me at GenuinePat83 on X. There's a link in my bio that'll take you to my YouTube page, and that's where I keep all past episodes of Critters for Dinner. What about you, Pickle Man?
I am Bigfoot on the X, BIGGF00T. And the podcast is found everywhere, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. So if you can't find it, just reach out to one of us and we'll point you in the right direction.
Right. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Today is the day before Halloween.
Yeah, hand out some good candy, damn it.
Yeah, hand out the big candy bars. Don't be a cheapo. Okay?
I keep a stack of the big candy bars for the shy kids.
Oh.
Or the really, really good costumes. If I see
it's like, you
good
get
costume,
this one.
they're gonna get a full size candy bar.
Yeah, because it's worth it. I mean, you tried hard enough. You get a big.
Yep, exactly.
I'm gonna give out pickles on Halloween.
Don't do that. I would take a hot pickle.
You're gonna get arrested.
Oh, you're gonna get
arrested for handing out pickles. I'm sorry.
Taste this.
Oh, one last thing. We will be, when this show airs, we will be a little less than a week from election. Go out and vote, damn it.
Go vote.
Yes.
And you know who to vote for.
Yeah. You gotta have a landslide.
It is gonna be, it's gonna be too big, too rig.
Exactly.
That's right, Pickle Man.
I think that's it. I could keep going, but we'll stop.
I know,
Okay.
I can keep going too. All right. Bye, y'all. Happy Halloween.
See ya.
No ghost, but hope there's no ghost booty holes in your mouth in the morning. If you got a bad taste, that's why, probably. Just saying, Tom. Bye.
See ya.
Bye, Tom.